Hello everyone, glad you're joining us. Today we're going to be looking at a very specific topic of ikkyo. And even with that, we're going to be looking at more specifics of ikkyo. So kind of tips and tricks on how to do ikkyo more efficiently and in a way that helps you complete the ikkyo. So stay tuned and you'll find out all the secrets of ikkyo.
So let's have a closer look at a few very important points when doing the technique ikkyo, the ones which actually make the technique work, and a little variation also that we can use in some situations. So first thing is, let's start from the shomenuchi. If I have an open attack, like not a grab, but a shomenuchi, tsuki, or komenuchi, something like this, when I don't grab the wrist directly, I want to keep the kind of cutting connection, like as if I was working with a sword, with a bokken, as long as possible, until I get until I really get the elbow, and then the wrist turns itself into my hand. Okay. So if I try to grab the wrist earlier, it makes actually the uke stronger, and he might resist it, while this connection doesn't block him and allows me to go through with a spiral. Okay, when I start from maybe from this side still, katate dori from this side. So when I start from the katate dori, when I open up, I want to use my base here, and the movement from the base, from the center, directing it through the shoulder, elbow, shoulder, into the center line again of the uke, to move towards the elbow here, okay? And then again, here I need to grab I grab the wrist a bit earlier, but when the opening doesn't come from this hand, the movement comes from the other hand, from the other place and going towards the elbow. And again, it creates the same engagement of the whole body of the uke as I do it. Okay? Important thing when we are stepping in, and this I will show from the shomenuchi again. So as I step in, especially we see a lot of beginners who just started our practice and are not fully aware of it yet. It's difficult to make this big step here with the outside leg when entering into the ikkyo. Okay, so many people, in the beginning especially, would enter directly with a foot which is closer to the uke, but it's actually the one which is in back, and it's easier to make a step here, to find yourself in the position. But you can see already that it's dangerous for me, because the Lord has access to my leg, he can grab my leg, he can block me, and he can take my balance. Okay, so this is important thing is really when we do the omote waza, the important point is really to enter here with a leg which is at a bit of distance from his other hand, from his other side. Of course, before we move in to position the uke on the tatami, on the ground, and maybe I will show it from this direction. So as I enter here, I want to finish the spiral movement. So I continue the spiral movement of the ikkyo. I have a spiral going on here, towards the center line and then back towards me, and extending the arm. And I want to continue the spiral and the extension until I get the balance of the uke. So you can see there is a moment when I control his balance, okay? And then I can enter. And again, I don't move just forward. I move into the center line of uke, taking him with me, okay? Now, what might happen here is that if I try to do it too early, so I don't finish the spiral here, I don't do the extension, and I try to enter, he's still strong. He can still resist. And there is a kind of, now watch it, I will do it very slowly. There is a moment when you can see it's like a click, when you get the balance. So I extend slowly, and there is a click. And then I can enter easily. There will be no resistance because he's not in the position to resist anymore. Okay? For the urawaza version, as we do the urawaza, I want to keep my hands in front of me as I turn. Okay, so I enter, I get the center line. I maybe push the center line a little bit off, so the uke is off balance. He wants to return to balance. As he wants to return to balance, I let him do it, but positioning his arm in front of my center. And then as I pivot behind him, I keep guiding his arm, keep my hand in front of my center, I keep guiding him around this way. as I pivot, okay? When there is, maybe you can turn a bit just on the ground. Mm-hmm. There is one more thing. So when we finish the immobilization here, there are some people who are flexible enough to try to get up and roll over, right? So if he does it, I can block his arm here, take it underneath, position my hand on his back. And actually, this is a really good immobilization, a strong one. I can even release the other hand then, because I'm controlling him through this shoulder here. So then he cannot get up anymore. So this is a nice little trick for people who are maybe a bit trying to be smarter and escape the immobilization of a pin. And then maybe one last little thing is the possibility of doing a projection with the ikkyo. So ikkyo nage, what we would call, right? So normally as I enter here, I would finish nicely the spiral, take the balance, enter, and do the immobilization of a pin. But in some situations, I might need to, either I don't have the space here to do the immobilization, or it's, I don't know, the surface is muddy, I don't want to get down on my knees. Or there is another person, another potential attacker, and I want to be ready for, to cover the area and to be ready for something. So I might need to get rid of the uke more quickly than doing a pin on the ground. And then I could do the ikkyo nage. So actually, as I enter here, as I get him moving here a bit down, forward, I enter directly, but this time projecting him at a bit higher level. So I don't finish completely the spiral and then take him down, but I enter a bit earlier while he's still moving downwards. I enter with an energy that is pushing him out. So let's see it again, maybe in movement. It can be even from a dynamic attack. It works also very well. So if you, okay. So it's a very nice thing also to do when you have a dynamic attack, kind of shomenuchi by surprise. You can very easily do this one rather than thinking about finishing the technique. So I hope you find these tips useful, these tips and tricks for ikkyo, and this information about the main principles or main tricks behind the technique. Let us know if you have any others on your mind. Maybe we've missed something in the video. And see you again in another video soon.